Okay guys, welcome back to another video. Now, over the past few weeks, I've been taking a lot of time to think, okay? I've been taking a lot of time to sit down and kind of plan out the next few months and the next year for my agency. And so right now, at the time of recording this video, my agency is pulling in anywhere from maybe 35 to close to 40,000 US dollars per month in revenue, not profit. And we're kind of looking at that and we're saying, how do we take that and how do we get to the 7-figure mark? Okay, because at those numbers, we're in multi-six figures. If we keep going at that rate, we'll be doing multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars per year in revenue. I'm trying to look at that and fully understand how we can take that and turn that into close to 7 figures, okay? So that could be going up to 70, 80, and 90K per month to hit that 7-figure mark per year. And it struck me that at any stage of your agency journey, right, whether you're literally starting off and you're having zero revenue, or you're doing multiple 6 figures, or you're maybe even close to 7 figures, there's always going to be 3 key areas to your agency. And those 3 key areas are marketing, sales, and operations. So the journey from 0 to 10K a month is completely different to the journey that takes place from, say, 10 to 20K per month and 20K to 30K per month. You see, at each stage of your agency, there's different complexities, there's different problems, and there's different things that you have to focus on. But ultimately, those 3 things, they never go away. They stay consistent, and you're always going to have to work on marketing, sales, and operations. Now, when you're getting started, things are a lot simpler, right? Your main focus is how do I get clients and how do I sell those clients? And that's really about it. So what I want to do is basically share my screen and kind of walk you through how I'm looking at this and how I would plan out to go from 0 to 10K per month if I was starting off from scratch. And this is the same framework that we're using to kind of plan out how we're going to go from multi-6 figures to close to 7 figures. Okay, so as I mentioned, look, even if you're starting out from 0 or you have 1 or 2 clients, or you're even at 5K per month, these same principles apply, okay? And so going from 0 to, let's just call it the 10K per month mark, okay? As I said, there's basically 3 key things that you're going to be looking at. And these 3 key things are the exact same if you're going from 10K per month and you're trying to scale up to, 20 or even 30K per month. All right, the principles are the same, but the way you look at them is going to be very, very different. So I'm going to walk you through an example of these 2 scenarios and how it's going to be different for you, whether you're here or whether you're here. Okay, so the 3 key things, right, as I mentioned, are going to be marketing. Marketing is basically getting leads, okay? Getting businesses actually interested in what you have to offer. Sales then, right, is very, very important. That's literally taking the leads, right, the people who are interested and turning them into clients who actually pay you. You can be the best marketer, but if you can't sell those prospects and those leads, you're not going to be able to actually build a business because sales is the lifeblood of an agency. And then the last part is going to be operations, okay? So this is obviously very, very crucial. If you don't have this, you can't deliver a service. And if you can't deliver a service, you're not going to keep clients. Clients are going to be unhappy and they're not going to pay you, okay? So ultimately, you have to have a little bit of mastery in all these 3 areas. But as I mentioned, it's very, very different. So when you're going from 0 to 10K, your main focus is marketing and then it's going to be sales. When it comes to operations, you just have to have a decent understanding, right? You don't have to be an absolute master. You don't have to have a lot of systems. You don't have to have a lot of processes. You don't have to have any staff. You literally just have to get businesses interested, sign them up, and then deliver a service to them, okay? That's about it. Now, at the other stages, right, going from 10K to 20K to 30K and 40K, it looks completely different and your focus is going to shift completely, which I'll touch on that in a couple of minutes, but I do want to focus just on the 0 to 10K plan because I know most of you watching this are probably in that kind of area, right? Maybe you're just starting off or you want to start off and ultimately you're finding it hard, right? You're finding it hard to know what to focus on. There's so many YouTube videos from me and other people telling you what to do. And ultimately, look, if I was starting over from scratch, this is what I would do. I would put most of my efforts on marketing, okay? So I'd probably put 50% on marketing, okay? So this is going to be basically reaching out to businesses, whether that is DMing them on Instagram, finding them on LinkedIn, maybe it's doing cold email. You can do other things, right? You can do cold calls and things like that. But the ones I recommend are Instagram outreach via DM, right? So doing video and voice messaging plus using basic text as well, reaching out to people on LinkedIn, and finally cold email. So that's what I do. I put 50% of my time on about 2 of those things. I wouldn't wouldn't pick all 3 or all 4. I would pick 1 or 2 and I'd become really good at those. So for me, that was really Instagram DM, and then we did cold email at the very start. And we actually don't really do any cold email anymore because we just found that Instagram DM was working very, very well for us. And now we're actually looking at other ways such as LinkedIn. So I'd put 50% of my efforts there. I'd put 40% of my efforts on sales. Okay, so that's going to be learning how to sell and trying to book as many calls as I can. So when you're literally starting off, like, you're really just learning how to sell and you're basically just trying to get as many calls booked in. Right? Your goal should be to fill up your calendar as much as you can, because you're not going to close your first client or your second or your third. If you do, I would take my hat off to you, because that is not an easy thing to do. I definitely didn't close my first call. It probably took me 4 or 5 or even 10 calls minimum to actually get a client. So what you're doing there is you're going to be learning, right? So learning techniques from people in sales books, and then also implementing. So implementing is going to be literally hopping on the phone with as many businesses as humanly possible and really just practicing your skill. And the crazy thing is, when I did my first few calls, I was absolutely terrible. I was nervous, my voice was shaky, and I was clearly not confident. And like literally after doing 10, it got slightly better. Then after doing 20, it got slightly better. Then after 30, it started to get slightly better. And every single call, you just build more confidence, you get more used to it, and you realize that the worst that happens is they hang up. They say no and you don't work together. That's literally the worst that happens. Okay, and then in the beginning stages, the last 10% of my time is going to be on operations. Because if you don't have clients, there's no point putting all of your time working on operations because you have no clients to serve. Now, I would put 10%, right? The reason I say that is because you want to make sure you can actually deliver on what you're selling, right? You don't want to sell someone on Facebook ads if you've never run Facebook ads before. If you're going down that route, I highly suggest that you either learn Facebook ads or the service, or you find a contractor or a freelancer who can do that for you. But don't sell them if you're going to actually say that you're going to do it and you can't do it. At least find someone else who can do it for you. So that 10% is going to be either learning the skill or, like I said, actually getting a contractor on board. Okay. So this is literally the blueprint, right? If you're starting off, okay, or even if you have 2 clients, this is what I would do. 50% marketing, 40% sales, and 10% operations. Okay, so if you have 4 hours per day to work on this, that's how you should break it down. Take 50% of that, that's 2 hours on marketing. Take 40% of that, I don't know, that's like 1 hour 40 or something. And then take the remaining amount, about 20 minutes, and that's for operations. That's how I do it. I do that every single day, and I would keep doing this until you get close to the 10K mark. Now, obviously, this is going to change, right? So once you get, let's say you've got 3 clients and you're at 6K a month, they're paying you 2K each, you're obviously going to have to spend way more time on operations. So this is just the framework when you're getting started, and this is going to change as you actually sign clients and as you have more of a service to actually deliver. But as I mentioned, going from 0 to 10K looks very, very different than going from 10K to 20K and 20K to 30K. Okay, so for my agency now, if we're doing around 35K per month, that's kind of like the average. So for us now, right, going to the next level, right? So let's say just even doubling this, right, and going to 70K per month, there's a lot that's got to happen. And I can assure you now that this is not how we're spending our time. We're not spending 50% on marketing and 40% on sales and 10% on operations. Really, it's probably quite reversed, okay? Marketing is pretty automated, okay? So that's just happening. So that's probably 10%. Sales is not fully automated. I still do most of the... Sales is not automated. I still do all of the sales calls, but that is definitely not 40%. It's probably 20 to 30%. And then operations is actually where more of the time is coming in now. I've got a great team and I've got great people on board who are handling operations, but this can become a huge bottleneck for us, and it's already starting to slightly show signs of that. So what we're doing now is we're putting way more of our focus on that. Okay, now I'll tell you why. Okay, number one, we want to actually keep our clients happy, right? We don't want to disappoint them. That's number one. So literally want those clients happy, right? Why do we want that? Because one, it's the right thing to do. It's ethical, like you're literally providing a service and you should make them happy. And the second thing is that they're going to stay longer, right? So instead of maybe staying for 4 or 5 months, they might stay for 6 to 9 months. Okay, now there's also other things that come into play, right? Because if they stay longer, they're more likely to send us a referral and give us a testimonial. Okay, so there's so many benefits for us to actually focus on this and build up a system and a process and ultimately hire the right people to make this happen. So this is the main goal, is keep clients happy. And how we're doing that, like I said, is systems, it's building processes, But really, the most important one for us right now is talent. Okay, it's finding good people who know how to do the job, but can elevate the job as well. Because we hired a lot of people recently where they weren't overly skilled in what we hired them for, and we taught them how to do everything, and that's fine. But ultimately now we don't have that much time to be training people that intensely, right? And we need people who don't come in as B players, but can come in as A players and really over deliver. So if you've been following me for a while, you know I always talk about the marketing and the sales side of an agency, right? I always talk about how you can get your first client and how you can just put all your focus on getting clients. But ultimately, the operations part becomes way more of a focus once you actually get momentum and you actually get clients coming in. Like I said, in the beginning stages, you're probably only going to spend 5, 10, 15% of your time on operations. Once you get past the 10K mark, and especially once you start hitting those bigger numbers, and this is what we're completely aware of right now, is that to go from where we're at around the 35K US, if we want to hit that 7-figure mark, we've got to become obsessed with our operations, right? We've got to have really good systems. We've got to deliver an amazing service. And to do all of that, there's a lot of moving parts. There's the people, there's the systems, and then there's the clients, and fulfilling all of that at the same time. It's like this beautiful, organized, semi-chaotic environment, but it's really fun. But that's beside the point, right? If you are starting off, okay, and I know most of you watching this are starting off, or you're just trying to get to that 10K mark and dial that in, what you got to focus on is those 3 things, and in that order, okay? Marketing, you got to fill your calendar, fill your pipeline. Sales, you've got to actually learn to sell more packages, sell more of your actual service, and get more clients locked in. And then finally, you've got to learn the skill, or you've got to get a contractor on board to deliver a really good service to your clients. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are new here, I would really appreciate it if you took the time to smash the subscribe button. If you want, of course. If you don't want to subscribe, that's completely fine. I won't pressure you into it. And if you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like below. And if you do want to learn more from me in a group setting, I do have a group coaching program called the 6-Figure Accelerator Program. The link to that is in the description if you want to check it out. Feel free, have a look and see if it might be for you. The link to that is in the description if you do want to check it out. Have a look at the page, read through it, watch the videos, look at some of the testimonials and see what you think of it. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.